Our top story this morning, Storm Ciarán has swept across the British Isles and the Channel Islands, leaving roofs torn off homes and cars smashed by golf ball-sized hailstones.
Gusts of up to 100 miles an hour recorded yesterday, and almost 20,000 homes and businesses across the UK were without power at lunchtime.
Should just say that fella you just saw in that clip did survive.
Yeah.
He was a bit idiotic, but he is OK. Train services were disrupted across southwest England with heavy flooding and trampolines on the track. Planes were forced to go around. Look at that EasyJet flight as they struggled to land safely during heavy winds.
Trampolines on the track. The Met Office says it will continue to impact Scotland and parts of northern England, but strong winds will gradually ease throughout today.
Joining us now is Jim Dale, Senior Meteorologist at British Weather Services. Jim, a lot of people affected, but at the same time, a lot of people escaped this. I think it's been said many of us dodged a bullet here.
I think that's absolutely correct. If that storm would have been, let's just say, 100 miles further north, and I'm not knocking what happened down in the Channel Islands on the south coast, but if it had been 100 miles further north, there'd have been chaos, absolute chaos. And that would have been on level with the 1987 storm, if not worse. I'm not sure we'd have seen the 100-mile-an-hour winds that the Channel Islands got. In, for example, the London area, the land would have made it less so, the friction on the land. But even so, we would have been, we'd have had trees down, we'd have had, yeah, I'll use the word chaos because that's exactly what it would be.
Was it the Channel Islands then that was really in the eye of this storm?
The eye was just above, in actual fact. It was the southwestern side of it that was the worst area, into the northwest part of France, where they saw winds of, and these are wind gusts, by the way, they're not sustained winds, so we're not talking hurricane. We might be talking hurricane status in terms of the gust ratio, but not sustained winds. But yeah, they saw 100-mile-an-hour plus winds as well, so that was the main sort of area, luckily for most of us, through the channel where nobody lives, as in the sea itself.
And Jim was seeing on the screen there pictures of waves crashing in at Dover and Penzance, floods across the Channel Islands. The media's calling this a weather bomb. My question to you, Jim, is what is a weather bomb? Where's it coming from? And where's it going next?
OK, so it's a lovely media term, Martin. That's what a weather bomb is. It's not a meteorological term. So this is an intense low that intensifies even further when it crosses the Atlantic and basically takes up the energy of the ocean that it's crossing. So what we saw during the summer is almost latent heat, if you like. What we saw during the summertime was record Atlantic temperatures. So almost like a boiler in actual fact, not in relative terms. So what that was doing as it crossed, it was picking up. It got into the jet stream, it picked up the energy from the oceans, that fed it, that's the intensity, and essentially the low pressure, the pressure started to drop as it approached the UK. It reached 953.3 millibars, which is a record for November. It's not an all-time record. That was in Scotland, and that was 925.
1877.
There you go. So, yeah, and that's Scotland rather than the south, where you normally get these low-pressure areas far deeper. So that's your bomb. I think bomb's a good word for it. It describes exactly what goes on because the power and energy involved with that is released, and that's why you get the devastation
because what happens then is, as I did O-level meteorology, so when the pressure drops...
You've been a weather presenter as well.
I can do anything
among all these other things you do.
When the pressure drops massively, basically the wind piles in from the outer lip, and that causes this huge wind that follows the storm, and that's what we've been battered by.
Yeah,
let's just sorry, Jim, I just want to show people, our viewers anyway, some of the pictures that we have had in from you guys. You've sent them in to us. Have a look at this.
I'm in Jersey, Channel Islands, where the storm passed through us in the early hours of this morning. So between 2, 3, 4 o'clock, winds were reaching up to 104 miles an hour, caused extensive devastation, particularly in the south of the island. Many residents evacuated throughout the night by the emergency services who were fairly well stretched. It is only a small island, and yet, as you can see in the background, there's still a lot of heavy rain in the sky, but generally the winds are just starting to ease off. Fortunately, I was pretty lucky, as you can see in the background, just a load of fence panels down, so I count myself very lucky, unlike many residents.
Here in Guernsey, the intensity of the storm hit us at around 2:30 a.m. and has been continuing to batter the island ever since. We've seen reports of over 70 trees down, and that's probably just the ones reported on main thoroughfares. In Guernsey, we have lots of small roads that they're covered in debris, and the clean-up operation is going to take some time yet. The government made a decision on Tuesday to close all schools given the intensity that the storm was going to have, and that meant that businesses also made the decision to close today. So pretty much we're in lockdown here in Guernsey.
Broken, gone. Broken, gone for the roofs and the houses. Police cars littering the roads, ambulances, fire engines. I wouldn't be surprised if all the fire engines were out last night. Our next door neighbour Doris, her house was flooded. My mum and dad were going around there to help them. There's like 2 tons of sand on all our balconies, just being thrown over. Yeah, Jersey is pretty much said to everyone, don't go into work. The majority of us just got the day off, and you can see why, because it was carnage. Everything was just getting blown to the right.
So Jim, picking up on the point you made there, I mean, scenes of devastation there on the Channel Islands, Jersey and Guernsey. Jess, by the way, what a great weather girl she makes.
Yeah, Stephen, Jess and Jack, thank you ever so much for sending in that footage, because it gives us all such a good idea of what you've gone through in the last few hours. And Doris as well, I do hope she's OK.
And as you said, if that had been 100 miles further north, then that kind of devastation would have been right across the southeast, southwest, all the way through.
We can go back to 1987. I don't know whether you remember.
Yeah, I do.
But trees down, deaths. There were deaths in the continent, by the way, in Europe.
There's been several deaths, haven't there?
Yeah, there has. So it wasn't just a case of buildings falling and trees falling. And you know, but one thing to say is that I'm really pleased that the forecast that went out, even though there's a margin of error within the scope of that, we were given plenty of time, which is why the choice of closing schools, etc., was put there.
Looking forward, Jim, to today and the weekend. It does seem like we've had the worst of it. Well, am I correct in saying that? Because I know many people's bonfire nights have been cancelled, which is such a shame because of this.
Where are we today? Third today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it third? Yeah, third. So we got another couple of days, but normally it's a Saturday, isn't it? So I'm going to use the word damp squib. Can I use that? Because there is another storm coming tomorrow. I say a storm, to make this clear. It's not a windstorm as such. It's more rain involved.
Has it got a name?
Not yet. If it does get named, because of the rain, because of the saturated ground, it'll be called Debbie, D-E-B-I. That's the next one in line.
Storm Debbie.
We'll see. It's not yet named. It's not my job to name them. But if that comes along, it'll be more of a rain event. And at the moment, I think the yellow warnings are down in the very far southeast, so Kent, Sussex way. So just be aware of that, a damp squib bonfire night.